We had no place to call home.
So I guess that's number one, right?
Yeah.
The first thing. So if we're gonna say things that you need to gift your kids,
yeah.
I think the first thing we need to gift our kids is a stable home front.
Stability. Yeah.
Stability.
Yeah. I would definitely say that because we were so busy moving. After we lost our first house, we were there 11 years. That was stability for them. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the
Yep.
My bad.
You know where her heart is at.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to Unscripted with Clyde and Tonya.
I'm a second option. Huh?
Stop. My mind is Butterfly. Shout out to the Butterfly Academy. Next level success attendees. I'm thinking about y'all. So yeah, but here we go.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is another podcast from the Hardens. If y'all don't know this, we love doing this. We love recording and sharing who we are. I always say to you, if you feel led to, last podcast we did, Devin asked us a lot of questions. We enjoyed answering those questions.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed hearing them. But listen, don't stop there. If you have some questions that you think that you would love to hear answered, listen, we don't have all the answers by no means. We only have our experience, our perspective. So I challenge you, send us some questions, and we'll do our best to answer them. How can they send us questions? I don't even know.
They can inbox us. They can put it in the comments below. You can definitely put it in there, or you can reach out to us at admin at heservices-llc.com.
Yeah.
You can send it there, or find us on social media, Facebook, and DM us, whatever you want to do. But leave the comments.
Yep.
We would love to answer your questions. So yeah.
So today's another podcast. What we try to do is always stay relevant. We try to pull as much as we can from our past. We're gonna do some present things and some stuff right now, but we kind of really want to pull a lot of things from our personal experience and what we think that we have learned a lot from, and we want to give to those who want to listen. So what are we gonna talk about today, sweetheart?
Today, I want to talk about this. I think it's important. And I know, eventually, and if you want to be on this podcast, we done had a couple people come and tell us they want to be on here. So definitely get with us. But right now, we just been rocking out. And I think one of the things that we really haven't discussed, and I think is so important, is children and the importance of, but in a sense of, the gifts and the things that you should be giving your children. I know for like Christmas, we give our kids 3 gifts apiece, right? Mm-hmm. But we've learned as we've grown and as they've gotten older, we've learned the importance to just not give them gifts, but give them wisdom and knowledge and different things that we want to give them. And so I kind of want to talk about that. Like, I think that's the thing nobody ever really taught us, was those gifts to give your children, like making sure they have a bank account, making sure they know the importance of working. Work, you don't eat. Making sure they know the importance of managing their money. Because our kids, before we knew it, it was like a blink of an eye. I could have sworn yesterday we were just with these kids and they were little bitty kids. Yeah. And now they're grown and out of the house. And I'll never forget Kiana when we knew that she was getting ready to get married. Yes, we were terrified because I'm like, oh my God, I didn't teach everything. No. I missed some stuff. And we went into warp speed of teaching her and trying to give her everything we knew that we did not give her. And now the other girls get a chance to reap what Kiana had to learn so quickly.
I think, it's so crazy, right? When someone give you a car, they give you a maintenance list, a checklist of things you got to do to keep that car going, right? Mm-hmm. And even when someone give you a house, they have certain inspections, certain things they're supposed to do in the house. But, I found out, I think I admire our Caucasian Americans. I do.
I do too.
I admire, a lot of different cultures. I don't know if it's just unique to our culture, but it seems as though as our culture, and I want you to listen to me. I'm talking to us, not you. I'm talking to us. My wife has a thing she always says, I'm you, you are me. So as you listen to this podcast, I want you to say that this is like a podcast that's is bringing to life the voice in your head, things you already been hearing but haven't made time for. So we're gonna make some urgency behind it. But I've never heard, our culture talk about we need to make sure our kids got this before they graduate. Usually, a lot of us are using our kids to make up for what we didn't get. So we try to get the enjoyment through sports through them. We try to, get the, enjoyment of just, we enjoy their life through our life. You know what I'm saying? So I think we haven't been as proactively responsible as parents. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. And I think, too, it took us living in that apartment and realizing that our kids did not have a place to call home.
Yeah.
I never forget having that moment with you, sitting there. For those that don't know, like we end up downsizing, living in an apartment, and it was like, we need to find some place for our kids to bring their kids to our house, to a home. We had no place to call home.
So I guess that's number one, right?
Yeah.
The first thing, so if we're going to say things that you need to gift your kids, I think the first thing we need to gift our kids is a stable home front.
Stability. Yeah.
Stability.
Yeah. I would definitely say that because we were so busy moving. After we lost our first house, we were there 11 years. That was stability for them. And I believe because of the instability that we were having, it caused chaos because we were no longer consistent in our living. And so it made it like messed up. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I hate to say it, that's when them jokers started acting crazy. That's when everybody started acting a nut and just started doing stuff. And I believe it was because of no stability at the time. But it wasn't until we sat down with them and had a conversation. I think that if you don't do anything else, have conversation with your kids about transitions that's happening, especially if they're old enough to understand of those transitions. That was the best thing we could have ever done, was sit down with our kids, tell them, look, we're broke. We're living check to check. We're about to live like no one else so that we can live like no one else. Do y'all understand that daddy is the one working? This is what mama is making. We literally sat down and wrote down the budget, showed them what the budget looked like, the two oldest ones, not the baby, because she didn't understand the time. And that's why she probably...
It's time
for her to understand, But we sat down with the two oldest one, and you had them do our budget. And they were so blown away, Devin, that we had $0 when it was done and over. And they're constantly asking stuff from school, especially these dang on schools, always asking for stuff from the school.
It's not called middle school, it's called money school.
Money school, always asking for stuff. And so after having that conversation with them and them seeing, it was like that light bulb went off. Yeah. And they understood.
I remember when we was kids. I remember I talk about the whole Bill Cosby thing. I feel like Bill Cosby was like the roadmap to the success of my parenthood. I remember when we said this, I said, man, when our kids get old enough, we're going to let them, we talked about planning before, when they get old enough, we're going to get them to do the bills. We're going to give them a bill. And we even did give our children a bill. But I want to go back to the stability piece, if I can, real fast. So the stability, I never forget driving past your parents' house. And we were renting at the time. We start off, and watch this here. This is the problem. We have kids while we're trying to build our dream.
Yeah, that's true. Facts.
And so our kids suffer because we're still trying to build while trying to raise them. And so I never forget, whenever we got the kids and we were still trying to survive it. And what happened, a lot of kids surpass us because they want to find their dream before we do. So we're trying to figure out who we are. And so I never forget, I remember as a kid having a bedroom. I remember as a kid having a place to stay. And then I remember graduating, and I feel like I lost that. There's a long story behind that story. But I drove past your father's house, and I saw some property. And we had a house. We had lost a house. We had moved an apartment. We was trying to adjust. And this is what I felt. Kiana's about to graduate. I felt sorry for her because Kiana's about to graduate, and when she graduates, we don't know where she's going to live. She may come back to the apartment. She may not. She don't have a home front. She don't have no. I saw. Watch this. I didn't have credit enough to support any decision she made.
Ooh, Jesus.
My credit sucked.
Come on here, husband.
So I'm thinking to myself that if she get anything, her grandparents going to help her out, or she's going to depend on a dude now because daddy wasn't positioned properly. I want you to hear me in the Holy Ghost. Talk. Daddy wasn't in position to have a home for her to come back to. So if she get a man, she's going to have to be rushed to settle for him because that's the only stability that I know. That if he has a good credit, I'm going to be rushed to settle for him because I don't think I know. I had nothing no stability. And I felt so convicted. And I said to myself, I'm driving past property that my father-in-law has that he want to give us, but I'm so stubborn trying to build something that hadn't been built yet. I came home and said, babe, no. Keon, I think had like 2 years left. I said, no, we're going to move back to the country. We're moving home. We're going to build a home back home so that Kiana can have a firm foundation. And now she get mad when she come back home because we let somebody else sleep in her bedroom. And she married and moved out.
Right. I would say this too. It goes back to the scripture, the importance of man leaving an inheritance for their children. And I shout out to my daddy, Arthur Charles Stone. I love him so much. And I never forget when y'all came and he been trying to get us to come to the country. But he literally said, you asked him, father-in-law, kind of talk about that.
So whenever I went past the property, me and wife drove past and spotted property a lot. And we jokingly said, man, that'd be a good spot for a house. It'd be a good spot for a house. But it wasn't an option. It was just a thought. And when I drove past this day, I was going to pick my nephew up. I drove past this day and I saw it. I'm like, man, that's not an option anymore. It's a mandate. So I pulled up to him and said, father-in-law, just jokingly, didn't know what he was going to say. I said, how much you charge me for acre of property? He looked at me angrily. My father-in-law never looked at me angry, never. He's the most mild-mannered guy in the whole wide world. He looked at me angrily and he said like this here, I never got any of this property to sell it to my kids. I give you an acre of property. I'm like, wow. To hear him say that redefined fatherhood for me.
Oh, that's good.
He was able to offer me something that I want to be able to offer to my son-in-law one day.
Oh, my God.
And he didn't say this to his daughter. He didn't say it to his son. He said it to his son-in-law. He said, I didn't get this property to sell it to my kids. I got this property to give it to my kids. And so that changed my life. And,
I love that man.
And it wasn't even 12 months after that.
Yeah.
Well, probably 18 months after that.
Yeah.
We lived in that property with a house on it.
Yeah.
So stability.
Life-changing. I would say life-changing, and that gave our children stability. And I believe it goes back to that first point of creating them a home to be able to come back to and call home.
Yeah.
And having that stability for them and getting your credit fixed. My credit was good, not his. But
I'm going to set the record straight right now. I'm so tired of her using this right here. Because whenever we was coming up in life, I allowed her to have good credit. Because I wouldn't let her use her credit. I would let her use my credit. And then we decided to pay the stuff that we got. And so she ruined my credit at the cost.
Whatever. My credit was good. I don't play about my credit and my children. I don't. But I will say this, though, is learning in that moment, it's almost like we became adults.
Yeah.
Up until that moment, I don't think we was adults.
Yeah.
I hate that we were pastoring the church, bishop people, but I don't think we became good stewards of what God had given us until then.
And I usually try not to interrupt you here because I fixed my credit.
Right.
I fixed my credit. I went into Warp Speed because I realized that my child could not do anything, and it was so rewarding. It was so rewarding.
Yeah.
Listen, what are we gifting our children? The first gift is stability, safety, security. I'm the priest, provider, protector of my home. I never forget when she graduated. I fixed my credit, got my credit score up to like a 6. I went from a 580 to a 640 before we bought the house, and I think I was almost at a 700 at this point when we was building the house. And my daughter about to graduate. And I never forget all the time going to car dealerships and knowing they're not going to approve me or special financing was my only option. And I went, my baby about to graduate. I said, you know what, baby, you need a car. Let's drive to Beaumont. We found the car she wanted. Went in there, and the guy says, who's the cosigner? And it's almost like, who give this woman away? And that father say, I do.
Yeah.
In that moment, it was equally as proud in that moment when that man say, who's the cosigner? And I say, I am.
Yeah.
And for him to run my credit, come back and say, wow, you get this low interest rate on this car. And I gave my daughter a jump start that day and making sure that I didn't have to ask Pawpaw. I didn't have to ask Nana.
Oh, that's
I didn't
good.
have to try to figure out how to get this high interest rate on a car. Because I fixed my credit. We only had 2 years. Never forget taking Kiana to the restaurant and saying, baby, we only have, I brought some toilet paper out. I bought toilet paper out and I had probably 8 pieces for Madison. I had 4 pieces of the smaller square for Alana. And I had 2 pieces for Kiana. I said, Kiana, we got 2 years left for you. I said, we're going to have to speed this thing up. and to know we recovered in 2 years.
Yeah, that's a blessing. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
God is good. I would say, so the first thing is stability. I would say another thing that we had to give our children. Of course, you want to give your kids love and all that. This is, with giving them love is also training, understanding that you got to train them. And one of the things that we started when we did the aha moment for us of getting our credit right, keeping our credit right and building something for them, we also realized that we couldn't build on one check alone, which ended up allowing us to start our businesses. So we knew with starting our businesses that, okay, now we're learning about money. We need to teach our kids about money. Yeah. And so the second thing we started doing is teaching them the importance of, you can't get this unless you work for it.
Yep.
I think Brother Devin, it changed the game when we did that, because it's like you can't get that unless you work for it. So now all of our children understand, don't come and ask me for money to put in your pocket. You talking about somebody that can make me hot? You want me to give you money, but you don't want to give nothing in return for your money. And my kids have learned the power of that because we taught them that, look, if you're going to do this, you gotta work for it. What you going to do? And we realized in that moment, Maddie, the other day, Friday, Maddie was like, you know what? She didn't go to work. That girl went down to my daddy, got the lawnmower, went and cut the whole, not just our acre, but another 6 acres of land, and then came back and said, I worked today, like making sure she gonna have a check.
My hours.
Clock my hours. Like, Mom, I put my time in to make sure that I wasn't, which allows her to be able to work. Every Friday she's out of school. She getting up in the morning, coming to work with the guys. She working, going out in the field, whatever. But we've taught them that to the point people laugh at her because they're like, Maddie cheap. Maddie not cheap. Maddie got money. She's aware. She's not just going to spend her money on anything because she learned. And the girl got a good Devin. She got a stash. I found out the other day she asked me for some boots. And I'm like, first of all, you deserve it. You've been doing good. You going through, okay, we'll take care of your boots. But she made sure that she worked for them.
The cost.
We split the cost of the boots. You're right. She paid a part and we paid a part. She had some comeback boots, some kind of boots.
It was Timberlands.
Them joker high, whatever they were.
Who need Timberlands in Texas?
And then come to find out, Devin, we found out this. Now she gonna spend money on clothes though. Cause Lamisha, somebody told us, oh, that's a $100 jacket Maddie got on. We had no idea. That hoodie. We did not know. But she spent her money. We don't even recognize it. But she spent her money on what she wants. Yeah. She gonna spend her money on what other people want.
And listen, the key thing is it's her money though.
It's her money.
And I think if I can add to it, what was the first one we said we had to give?
Stability. The second one.
This one will be responsibility.
Yes.
Whenever we gave Kiana the car, I could either say, you know what, I'm gonna be the father, not just give good credit. I'm also pay the car note. Mm-hmm. But we didn't. Mm-hmm. Whenever Kiana got it, I said, you know what, I'm gonna pay the insurance. But if you're gonna drive a car, you're going to pay for the car note. Mm-hmm. You're gonna pay for the tires. You're gonna pay for the oil change. Because what happens is, if kids got money to waste, guess what they're gonna do? Waste it. Yeah. So they don't need this is what I have to teach them. My wife taught some things to them too. I'm gonna share that in a second. But kids don't need. We got lights, we got water. We got internet. So whatever, any money they get, they really don't need it. They don't need it. And if you're not going to take the money that they got and teach them a lesson with it, you're literally hurting them. And so, I don't know why we thought like this. It wasn't somebody came down and said, do this. These some things we spiritually was encouraged to do. And I'm so glad
through
we did.
A book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
But this is before Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I didn't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad later.
Okay. But
I just sit down and say, you know what? They need to have responsibility. I think it's Cosby Show.
Okay.
Cosby Show. Yeah, I memorized the whole Cosby Show. I've learned so much from them. Bill raised me. But anyways, and so I thought we need to have responsibility. And so when Kiana, she had a car note. And she paid her car note. And she knew for a fact she had to hustle to get her oil changed. She had to hustle to get her tires changed. All her money, she used to get mad because all my money is leaving because I got this stuff to do. But guess what? She never went hungry. Mm-mm. She had her money. And I brought my wife because my wife would tell my daughters, that I paid for hairdos the whole time they was in school. But when they graduated, what responsibility you give them?
They had to take care of their own hair. It was their own hygienes, their own hair. Now, there's sometimes we will buy hygiene stuff, but every now and then, I need you to be able to do that. And we started paying the light bill, but then we noticed, okay, you know what? We're not going to give you that responsibility of paying the light.
I'll tell you why we started doing the light bill, because I thought about that too. Mm-hmm. So Kiana had the car note because she had a car note. We bought Alana a cash car, so she didn't have a car note.
Oh, that was why.
So we let her pay the light bill. But when the light bill started going up, I said, well, I ain't gonna make you pay that much of a light bill. And she would get mad. She would have to, we'd split the light bill.
Turn off all the lights in the house.
All the lights.
Like, man, y'all, what do y'all need that fan on? Do y'all, boy? It made them look at life different.
Yeah.
And even to today, Lana, like, turn off that water, like, turn off that light. And she still do it, but even though she's not paying for light bill, because she has a car note now, because she ended up getting another car. We created ways to be able to be the pillar that they need, again, building a legacy for your children, being the person that's able to help them do what they do. And we don't have to go to grandma and Nana and whoever else, that they're able to come to us and learning, but they had to learn the importance of their money. I would say another thing that we did, not only teaching them about money, teaching them, what was the second one? Responsibility of money or stability. We also had to teach them how money is a tool, not a toy.
Yeah.
Right? And that's something you taught, a series you taught. Money is a tool, not a toy. So guess what we did? We showed them, okay, this is the thing we do. We do stocks. We do investments. It's called high yielding savings account. So we had them put their money, now we ain't gonna make you, because some of them didn't.
Nope.
But the ones that did put their money, AKA, no, I ain't gonna say who, because I ain't gonna put them out there like that. But they ended up putting their money in a high yielding savings account. So their money is making money for them. That's something you teach your children. Like, baby, let me show you how to get your money to walk in its sleep. It make money. You're making money in your sleep. So we taught them how to do that. Yep. We taught them about gold. We taught them about stocks, investment. Now, they ain't going to do all that stuff. They only did one, which was good. I believe that's important to tell your kids the importance that money is a tool. So even when we started this business, they realized, Brother Devin, y'all, we not spending this money on us. No. This money goes into the business. So guess what you got to do in order to get some of that money? You got to work. So guess what they did? They ended up working. They were our first employees for Harden Enterprise, and some of them are still on. And we partner with our daughter. If our daughter come and do photography, she realized money is a tool. Hey, mama, I'll do photography for your event. Okay, baby, how much it costs? Give me your price. Send me your invoice. Show me how to. So now I'm also teaching you how to do business all at the same time. So I just believe that's important to do, to where now our baby girl is literally saying, I want to take over the business. I'm like, baby, what you going through right now? Baby, please, God has so much more in store for you that's way bigger than that. But she literally comes to learn the business when she come on Friday.
I think part of that too is so that as they're going through it, they watch family members come to us and ask us for money, and they get mad.
Oh, they get livid.
They get hot.
Brother, and it's that yellow one. That yellow one get hot. Like, do not realize I don't even ask my daddy and mama for no money.
Alana will literally, she has a credit card. Now this is something we try to teach her. She'll max her credit card out to not ask us, and I'm like so upset because both of them have done it because they've figured out I'm gonna try to survive on my own. Even with Kiana, we had to teach her some things. But this is what I would say. I think we skipped one.
No, I want to go back to that. I think that's important too, is also building money with their credit cards. And we taught them.
That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
I think the one we forgot about is that another thing, we didn't just give them stability. We didn't just give them responsibility. We also gave them...
Money is a tool, I said. That was the third one.
I think the next thing we gave them was credit. And the reason we gave them credit because we made them as a authorized user on our credit cards. And so this is, a matter of fact, I just figured out Maddie just turned 16. Maddie can now be an authorized 17. Okay, sorry. Maddie can be an authorized user on our credit card now. And so what we need to do, what do you do is, if you don't have good credit, that's between you, and you got to fix your credit. I'll tell you, and if you want to know how to fix your credit, this is a homework assignment. Inbox us, find us. We have the same company who fixed our credit. It wasn't no credit repair. It wasn't no credit, scam. It was a thing where they actually repair your credit. They go and they help you raise your credit. I went from a 580 to a 640 in less than 45 days. And it was legit. All of it was legit. And so, but once you get your credit fixed, you get your credit card. You add your child as an authorized user on their credit card. Now, before they even try to buy a car, they've been building credit the whole time. Alana,
Yes.
Kiana had over 700 credit score for
Oh,
the house.
no, it was almost 8. That girl had it, yeah.
And then Alana, same thing. You know, now it's time to add Maddie on the same card. It gives them a head start in life. You know, you don't want them to have to use credit, but you don't want them not to have credit if they need it. And so that's one thing I say. You definitely got to give them, you know, access to good opportunities. This is stuff that Caucasian America been doing that their whole life.
Come on, man.
And they didn't know we didn't know. Stop saying that, oh, they hide stuff from us. No. We so proud as a culture. We don't know we don't know.
Right.
And they sure don't know we don't know. And as we learn these things out, like high yielding, my wife said something about high yielding. You know, high yielding, every kid needs a high yielding savings account. I got a buddy of mine, if you're watching, God bless you, I love you, because I told you to call me and I'm going to help you out, but he ain't called me yet. He said he keeps his money up on the mattress. That's called dead money.
Come on, husband.
Money was never meant to sit still. Money's power is when it flows. It's why it's called currency. And if you got to sit up on the bank, up on the bed, it literally dies. It's not just dies, it dying, because watch this. If you have $100 up on your bed right now, and let's say you can buy a pair of shoes for $100. Let's say that pair of shoes next week go up to $150. Now that $100 is not worth what it used to be worth. It's worth less now.
That's good, husband.
Because now you got to go find $50 add to it to buy the same pair of shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you had that money in an account that's actually moving with the interest rates, that the account now, let's say it made $50 over a long period of time. Now, as that cost of shoes went up, your money went up. If it's sitting there up on your bed, it's literally dying, it's losing value. And so we teach our kids that don't just get a bank account, get a high yielding savings account. We got other things we talk about. We got another podcast coming up. We got to watch after this. Talks about, I'm sorry, y'all been fighting a cold. Talking about how to, the secrets to money, to getting wealthy. We're going to share those things, but you got to sit through this one and then come back to that one.
But I would also say to that is that we also taught them the importance of your credit. Don't give up your cookies and don't give up your credit.
Yep.
And if you don't know what cookies is, catch it. We taught them the importance. Brother Sam say called it. We taught them the importance of don't give up your cookies, baby, and don't give nobody your credit. I don't care who comes to you. Your credit is your power. And we explain that to them, the importance of that. And baby, they don't play about their credit. No. And they're constantly looking at their credit. They're constantly.
Ken went somewhere where she had to give her social. I think the doctor's office, she's a daddy.
Do they have to?
The doctor's asking my social. Do I need to give my social? Because I said, I think you got to get a doctor's social. I need to look at your.
She was like, is that going to be a ding on my credit? No, girl. But I think that's important to be able to teach your kids the importance of that part.
I think another big one that we need to teach the kids is the danger and the power of interest rate. Because I found out we had a loan. This I haven't taught him yet. I'm going to teach him this pretty soon. We had a loan. I only owed a little bit of money. I should have paid this thing off in like maybe a couple of years. And I looked up after maybe 5 years on this, I think a $5,000 loan, I only paid like $500. Everything else was in interest rates.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so heartbreaking, the fact that I spent 5 years paying this loan and everything I was paying was in interest. And so I radically went crazy over the next 6 months and paid the thing off. Yeah. We need to teach our kids the power. Now, if you have the same kind of interest rate in the savings account, now you're making that kind of money. Yeah. So we need to teach our kids the power of interest rates. But I'm sorry.
No.
Man, I got to get some water.
You're okay. So. I will say this, too. Another thing I think is important. How many things we've shared so far?
I don't know. It's been a lot, haven't it?
Yeah. I would say another thing that's important another thing that to share with your children is the importance, not just money, but value. And the value that they bring and the value that they have as an individual and how to use what they have as a gift in ministry and marketplace, in every area. I think that part is important to allow them to see that they're valuable in every way. I think that's important. I'm always letting my girls know how valued they are, and especially when they have adversity that comes against them to try, or school systems that try to make them think that they're not valuable. I have to remind them at home how valuable they are as an individual. I think those conversations are important to sit down and have with your babies.
If I had my last one I would give, I'm so sorry. The last one I would give, this is probably one of the most powerful lessons I taught my children. There's many of them. This is probably one of the most powerful lessons I taught my children. To honor God over me.
Yeah.
I used to think it was my job to put fear in my children to get them to change, and they would do certain things that I thought, you should be doing this. And I used to, and one day one of my daughters had done something, and it was so heartbreaking, heart-wrenching. And the fear, I had no fear left. I had no way of fearing them out of it. I had no way of scaring them out of it. And then I thought back on my life, and I thought about some times when I was sexually active with people. I thought when I was smoking drugs, and I was doing all those things, and my parents didn't know nothing about it. And God says, didn't I save you? Didn't I bring you out of it? So if I brought you out of that, why you don't think I can bring your child out of it?
Right.
And I walked in and told my baby, I said, okay, baby, I'm sorry. I love you. And I've tried to scare you out of some things, but I stopped now. What I'm going to do, you will honor my home. You will honor my home.
Yeah.
And I can control what you do outside this house.
Right.
I hope you will honor God.
Yeah.
Because today, when you're in my house, you're put in my eyes.
Right.
But when you're at my house, it's whatever you do is between you and God.
Yeah.
If God is happy with you and what you do, cool. If he's not, that's between you and him. But in my home, you're going to serve God in my house.
Yeah.
But outside of here, I give you and whatever you do to God. And I walked away. I think my child thought I abandoned her in that moment.
Yeah. But I think it was the best thing that we ever done. I think it was a great learning lesson for the entire house because it went for everybody. Like we cannot, at the end of the day, we can't make you serve God. I love it, Devin, that the fact that my kids do serve the Lord. I thank God that they're in church. I do. Even I say the older ones because the one that's with us, you don't got no other choice. You come to church. But them other ones don't have to. They really could go to somebody else's church. But the fact that they still chose to go here, I believe it's because we gave them the freedom to listen to whatever they want. I would get in the car and listen. I'm in the car with them, listen to Zydeco. Call me unsaved all you want to, sugar. I'm in the car listening to their music. Whoever drives, you can play whatever music as long as it's respectful and no cussing. You can listen to whatever. And I believe giving them that freedom, and you can come and tell me anything. That right there gave freedom for you to talk to me about anything, and I don't judge you. I have no judge zone. I'm going to love you no matter what, but you know my standards, but I'm going to still love you. That makes sense? I believe doing that for your children will change the enemy's plan on their life to where your love for them will catapult any demonic force that tries to come against it. Because some things you can't just be praying away. Some things you got to love, and you got to love hard enough to know that when you do change. You know what I remember about people praying? I'm going to say this and I'm done. Yeah, I remember people getting prayed for, and I'm not knocking the church. I'm not knocking nobody. But that person wasn't ready for deliverance. And they leave that church, Brother Devin, and they're 7 times worse. The Bible says that the demons come 7 times worse than what it was before. So I would rather love this. Now, there's some people that's ready for deliverance, and they need it. But then there's some that's not. And you don't want to immaturely try to force this thing when God can do it the way that he did. He didn't force it out of me. And Lord, I ain't that bad. I'm scared of you. And I love you enough to try to be convicted about the things that I do.
And we must have done something right. I mean, we got one daughter that got married a virgin, and we got 2 virgins at the house still.
Yeah.
So I must be doing something right. And I know my children, they have their problems, but I do believe they do what they do, not because they're trying to honor us. I believe they do what they do because they're trying to honor God.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. I think that's, you got any more you want to share?
I think that's important. Like the different things we shared. I don't know what we shared. Just go back and watch.
And that's what things, so, and that's why we use the word unscripted. We lived on the way to church, and we knew what the topic was going to be. I mean, on the way to the studio, we knew what the topic was going to be. And we said, well, what we're going to do, I said, I don't want to talk about it. Just get there, we're going to roll with it. Because we want to give you our
authentic conversation, man. You okay, babe?
It's like when I'm not talking, I don't cough. It's like this I'm on the back end of this cold, and it's like the more I breathe, it's putting strings on my lungs.
Yeah, it's gonna get better.
Yeah, it's almost there.
But listen, we thank y'all for rocking out with us, man. Like, make sure you leave your comments. Rock out with us. Any last words, husband?
I just say parenting is an action, and it don't stop. People think parenting is a noun. It's not a title. It's a responsibility. And if you let your child, it's no different than raising plants. It's no different than raising animals. They're gonna be what you put in them. Whatever you put them is what's gonna come out of them. And I got some plants at the house, and they have some good days, have some bad days. And their good days always reflects how much love I put in them. So ask your children if they're having some good days or bad days. Are they bad days because I didn't put in them what they need? Parenting is an action word.
And I would say parenting is a growth moment. You got to be willing to grow with the parenting. And there's different layers. I would say that. It's different layers. When our daughter got married, ooh, that was a different layer. Lord Jesus, I'm main lie. While she married, ooh, different layer. While the ones that are in the house now and Alana preparing to move out, different layer, and it's like, please stop talking to me about this. I really don't want to talk about you moving out, but I know that she has to do her clinicals in another area. So it's layers. It never stops. Maddie finna graduate, Deb. Like, oh my God. So now we're preparing for graduation.
And both of them might move out at the same time.
Yes. And so, Lord, did we get them a house? It's so many layers, but you got to be willing to develop and grow during the layers and love every layer of the parenthood. That's what I would say. Yep. That's it.
That's it. So God bless you. I pray once again this podcast is something that you can take from, use it, multiply it. How do you multiply it? Like and share.
That part.
We need you to like and share. Share as many people. We want over 550 subscribers by Valentine's Day. Where we at right now?
It ain't there.
It ain't there, but we need you to help us. We missed that goal. We'll keep pushing, keep striving, and remember that at the end of the day, you are who you are. You can't go backwards, but you can fix forwards.
Thank y'all for rocking out. Unscripted with the Hardens.